If I woke up tomorrow with no stock, no money and no contacts, but I still had my Amazon knowledge, this is exactly how I would start from scratch. Amazon FBA is still one of the most powerful business models out there, but only if you approach it the right way, especially with all the new policies, tools and competition this year. In this video, I will walk you through the exact steps I will take if I was starting fresh. There are no gimmicks, no shortcuts, just a smart, simple strategy to follow. Whether you're a brand new seller or restarting after a setback, this is going to be for you. Let's get a few things clear before we dive in. So Amazon FBA in 2025, what has changed? So there are tighter selling restrictions. Amazon's product compliance is stricter than ever. It's never been harder to get ungated, but still very much possible. So it's so important to have your supply chain documents in place, i.e. invoices. Secondly, there are now so many more powerful tools around and everyone's got access to all this data. So it's less about what tools you use, but more about how you use them. There are also a lot more smarter buyers. They check reviews, shipping times, and listings more regularly, so the laziest sellers get left behind and buried. So what is it exactly that I do? So for those of you that don't know, I do online arbitrage while selling things on Amazon. This is where I buy discounted clearance items from your usual UK retailers online, like Argos, Boots and Very. I resell them on Amazon for a profit, and Amazon handles the shipping, storage and all of the customer service for me. So you're probably thinking, why would you want to start with retail or online arbitrage rather than any other business model on Amazon? Well, there are a few reasons for this. For starters, it is very low upfront cost. When you compare this to wholesale or private label, you would need a lot more money to get started, whereas with OA, you can start with a fraction of the cost. Secondly, there's no need to create your own product, create your own brand, or deal with import issues, or even advertising or anything else like that. And lastly, it's down to speed. You can literally get started straight away today if you wanted. You don't need to wait for suppliers to get back to you about opening up accounts, no need to wait for manufacturers, no need to design anything. You can open up your laptop, create your Seller Central account and get going straight away. Now let's get into a step-by-step guide on how to start from zero. So step one, you need to set a clear budget, whether you have £500 or £2,000. You don't need tens and tens of thousands of pounds like other business models. Now let's break this down. Let's say we're starting with £1,000. So to start with, you'll need a seller amp and a keeper subscription, and these are both around £15 each. So let's say we'll cover ourselves straight away for the first 3 months. So this is going to put you back £90. The reason we are covering ourselves for this long is because you need time to learn how to source, send the products in, wait for them to sell, and then wait for Amazon to pay you. This will definitely not take 3 months. I'm being very, very over the top with this. Right, so now you probably need another £100, and this is going to get you your supplies. You might need a new printer, you might need some tape, and you might need some SKU labels as well, and maybe even some shipping boxes. But to be honest, I wouldn't actually buy any shipping boxes because you can get them for free from so many different places. You can easily check on Facebook Marketplace, which is generally what I do. I'll always search on there and you will be able to find some for free or super cheap. You can also go into different stores as well, like B&Q or Tesco's, and speak to the staff there and see if they have any boxes which they are going to throw out. Secondly, you can go to garden centres. I know my local ones, they always have loads of free boxes at the front for you to help yourself to. Lastly, you will need the rest of the money for stock. So this will leave you with about £810 left. Now that's the budget sorted. Let's get the seller account open. Step 2, open your Seller Central account. You want to Google Amazon Seller Central and create an account from there. Make sure you pick the relevant account to what marketplace you're going to sell in, whether it's the UK, US or Germany. Now you're going to have a choice of individual or professional account. I would always choose the professional plan to get started, which is £25 a month. Step 3, register for tools. Now for step 3, you want to start setting up accounts for the tools you need to get started. So Seller Amp and Keeper will be the only tools which are a necessity when starting out. So I would get signed up to both of them. You'll then need a Google or Excel spreadsheet, and this is to track all your purchases and all of your data. Here at Seller Smart, we've got the ultimate sheet to get you started all for free. I've linked it below, so get it downloaded if you need one because it will help you out so much. Now, step number 4, this is where you will find your first few products. This is the part everyone is probably most likely going to be interested in. We've now got about 800 quid, which we need to spend on stock. Personally, with this capital, I would start with retail arbitrage. This is where you would physically go into these retail shops and look at their clearance sections for deals. The beauty with RA is that you can actually find some very high and very good margin products, which is ideal when you're first starting out, because you want to get as much for your money as possible at this stage and search for the highest ROI products to turn your capital over most effectively. When doing RA, you can generally find some very cheap products to flip and for very good returns as well. And the products you tend to find are generally going to be very unsaturated, as these deals won't be in every single store across the country, and they're more going to be specific to the store you were just in. So this is great because not everyone can get their hands on them, and the listing is not going to get absolutely saturated. So you are going to be pretty safe with a lot of these deals. So you'll be going into Boots, for example, and you're going to go and find their clearance section, wherever that is in the store. Then you're going to start scanning all of the discounted products using SellerAmp and Keeper to see if you can make any money. You'll be very surprised at how good some of these deals can be. Then once you found a load from one shop, you can then get in the car and drive around to all of your other local stores and see what else they have. All you have to do is rinse and repeat that with multiple stores, and you can build up your inventory very quickly. Once you've got the hang of that and you've started making some good profit, you can then start to look at doing online arbitrage and smash that. But to start with, definitely stick with RA because you want to get high return for your money. Finally, step 5. So this is where you're going to prep and ship your first box to Amazon. So once you've purchased all your first few products, you're going to want to add them to your inventory and get them shipped off to Amazon so you can actually sell some things. So go and create a shipment and follow Amazon's guidance on how to label and prep your products. You want to make sure you label your products properly and attach the right SKU label to each product so they don't get lost in Amazon's fulfillment centers. Then you want to fill up a big box with as much stuff as possible. Ideally, the more stuff you fit in the box, the better, as it is cheaper per unit to send. The shipping is roughly £3 to £4, so if you only have 10 units in there, then the shipping cost will eat up a lot of the margin in your products, as opposed to if you're sending 50 units. So definitely fill up that box with as much stuff as possible and get that cost per unit down. Now let's look at the most common mistakes and how to avoid them. So mistake number 1 is chasing low ROI products, especially at the start, because when you're first starting out, you want to stretch your capital as much as possible and you want to get as much as you can for the money you have got. So you want to be chasing products which are going to be around the 40, 50 to 60% and even higher. Chasing these products will help you grow and scale a lot quicker. Then once you've got more capital, you can then look to adjust that later down the line and bring it down a little bit lower, but definitely start as high as you can to start with. Mistake number 2 is not factoring in all your fees. So people forget inbound shipping fee, returns fee, and the prep costs. Make sure when you set up SellerAmp, you have all your fees included so it factors this into the pricing calculator and you are not left short. I tend to have about 40p per kilo for my inbound shipping fees, and then whatever my prep fee is, I also input that as well. So make sure if you are using a prep center, understand what your prep fee is and make sure you add that into SellerAmp. Mistake number 3, looking for products with a low sales rank. So if you buy a product with £2 profit, then it doesn't really mean much if it's going to take you a month to sell it. Ideally, when you're starting out, you want to turn your money over as quickly as possible. So you want to look for faster selling items which sell roughly 50 to 100 times, if not more, every single month. Now these are some of my pro tips and best practices. So pro tip number 1, join a Discord group or an OA lead group. You're going to want to leverage the community knowledge as much as possible. You will find winners a lot faster, and you can also network with other sellers in these groups. And you can also watch how other sellers analyze these deals in these groups. This in turn helps accelerate your own learning experience and makes you see things from another point of view which you may not have seen before. Pro tip number 2 is building your own tracking system very early when you get started. So don't rely only on software dashboards to start with if you have low capital. As long as you have a good spreadsheet in place, then that is all you really need. As I've said, I've linked the free one below, so check it out and get it downloaded. You can use this spreadsheet to track your purchase date, buy cost, selling price, fees, and your profit, and it will save you so much time having everything so clear and concise straight in front of you. So pro tip number 3 is spend 30 minutes a day learning and 90 minutes a day actually doing what you're learning. So you want to watch as many YouTube breakdowns as possible. You want to watch FBA podcasts and soak up as much information as possible everywhere you can. But make sure you're also sourcing as much as possible, and don't forget to get your items shipped off as quickly as possible. Now you know the basics, let's try a 3-day little challenge to get you started. So day 1, you want to open up your Amazon seller account, register for a trial of SellerAmp and register for Keeper. And day 2, source 3 products with at least £4 profit. Double check their data in Keeper and SellerAmp and add them to your spreadsheet. Day number 3, buy 1 to 5 units of each, prep them and ship them off. And then finally, you want to track their performance over 2 weeks. So why do you want to do this? Well, you're going to get live market feedback with very low risk. And this is exactly how you learn on Amazon. Starting FBA is not about hacking the system. It's about smart, small moves done consistently over and over and over and over. So you want to start small, gather as much data as possible, then you can start making better buys the next time and rinse and repeat over and over and over again. Building an Amazon business is all about making smart moves repetitively. If this video helped, then drop a comment below and I'll respond to every single person. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss next week's video.